What's going on, guys and girls? How are you doing today? It's Single Roleplayer here once again. Today I want to talk a little about the Synthesis League and how you can actually synthesize something worthwhile. It's always been quite a mystery for me since the very beginning, and right now it's a little easier because there are a couple of websites that can help with that. I know for a fact that some people completely avoided league mechanics at this point because there was quite already a lot of things right there in part of Exile, like the delve, incursions and all that stuff. And synthesis is just a big crafting thing on top of everything, and it's really hard to understand how this shit works. And for a fact, a lot of people just completely gave up on Nexus and all the explorations and all this stuff because there's still just a lot of things to do on its own. So first things first, what are Synthesis League? Synthesis League is all about fractured items and synthesized items. You can put free fractured items that you find in the memory nexus in the synthesizer, which is located here. And as a result, you press this button and get your synthesized items out of it. Let's take a look at a fractured item first, so we have the basic understanding what are these grade things, grade mods out there, and what are these mods on the synthesized items. First of all, fractured items are basically items with fixed explicit mods. Explicit mods are everything down below here that you can see. Like for example, 25% global crit multiply is an implicit mod on it. And this thing, like 6 reduced enemy threshold and 10% and adds fire damage and lightning resistance, these are called explicit mods. Each fractured item can have from 1 to 3 explicit fractured mods on them. This item, for example, I have 2, and this item, it looks like it has 3, but in reality this is actually 2, and I will tell you why. Because this mod is a hybrid mod. Now this makes it a little more complicated, guys. Hybrid mods, non-hybrid mods. Yeah, it sounds a little complicated, but this is how the game functions. If you don't see this, descriptions, you need to go here, options, OE, and you should enable this advanced mod description. Without this, you will basically see nothing here. It doesn't really show you hybrid mods. But if we press this thing, it shows me that it's not free, it's actually 2 fractured explicit mods. So from 1 to 3 on each item, guys. And honestly, I haven't seen the free fractured explicit mods on a single item because they, as far as I know, they drop on the very high-end Nexus content. I only got from 1 to 2 at this point. This thing over here, like I said, on the synthesized items, which we actually synthesize from our fractured items, these 2 things over here, which is adds physical damage and reduce enemy stun threshold, these are called implicit modifiers, and these are specifically synthesized implicit modifiers, guys. They can also be from 1 to 3 of them, depending on how much mods, how much fractured explicit mods your fractured items had. I will show an example really quick. Like for example, in order to synthesize something, you need to place 3 items with similar bases here, and then you press synthesize and you get your synthesized boots. You cannot synthesize boots with gloves, boots with helms, it just will not work. You need to synthesize 3 similar bases. Let's take a look at this. For example, this one has one explicit one explicit fractured modifier, which is increased stun and block recovery. This has mana. This has 2 actually, which is intelligence and life regen per second. If I press synthesize, most likely one thing will happen. First of all, I will have boots in the first place. The next thing is a synthesizer always selects the highest item base. So this is item level 60, this is item level 72, this is level 75. So the resulting synthesized item will be level 75. For the generic base, it will definitely select Legion boots because I have 2 Legion boots and the ambush boots, and most likely it will select Legion boots. As for the amount of implicit synthesized modifiers. Once again, this is like fizz and reduce enemies threshold is the implicit synthesized modifier. I have 1, 1, and 2. So most likely, if I press synthesize, I will get 1 because I have 2, 1, and 1 with 2 of them. If we divide this by 3 and the game divide this by 3, most likely I will get 1 with the very low chance, with the lower chance that I will get 2. So most likely I will get Legion boots with 1 implicit synthesized modifier. Let's try my luck actually and see what happens. Yeah, this is exactly what happened, like I said. And one thing to mention is that the quality will be the combined quality divided by 3 as well. So we have like 20 quality and then 0, 0. It will have about 7 quality resulting on the boots, and this is level 75, as you can see. Now another biggest question and the main question is how we actually get something good out of this synthesized things, you know. First things to mention is about the amount of implicit that you can get. Like I said, depending on how much explicit mods you have on your fractured items, it really correlates directly to the amount of implicit mods you will get on your synthesized items. So the more you have, the more you actually get. So if you combine 3 fractured items with 2 explicit mods, you will guaranteed will get 2 implicit mods. If you get 1, 1, 2, you will get 1. If you get 2, 2, 1, you will most likely get 2. If you combine 3, 3, and 3, you will have a guaranteed 3 implicit mods on your synthesized item. Unfortunately, the biggest question is here is first of all how we can find these items with 3, you know, fractured mods. This is how actually we go to Path of Exile, then we select this fractured item, yes, start pasting this shit here. For example, fractured, oh sorry, so fractured mods, okay, set free, select any base you want, like for example, let's try a wand and see how many wands with 3 mods we have. This is just 11 results, so imagine how rare this shit is, guys, and just how hard it is to get any item with 3 separate explicit fractured mods on them. But for your achievements, you will most likely need this thing as well. Now let's talk about the actual targeting of desired mods that you need to get on your synthesized items, and about the actual depth of what we can get out of these items, out of fractured mods, and how can the fractured mods affect the resulting amount of synthesized mods. The first thing that you should be looking for is this PoE craft synthesis calculator, just appeared recently, and it really helps you to see just what is the outcome of the items that you will import into your Nexus. So this is mostly like shows you what kind of outcome you will have if you put the random items in your synthesizer. Let's start by, for example, adding free items there. So what you're gonna do, guys, is press Ctrl C, which copies your item into your memory, which is Ctrl C. Then we go here, then we go import items here. This is the first one. Then we go here, let's copy this. This is just random item, but keep in mind there should be similar bases though. Okay, we press this, press import. So I imported 3 different fractured items, each with 1 mod as far as I can remember. So the outcome most likely will be this. So the biggest thing that I will get is definitely the lightning res, and the second is accuracy, and the third is life regen. It doesn't matter that I will not potentially get any of this, but it's just less likely that I will get something this from this. And this is like the pool of projected potential implicits that I will get based on the items that I just imported. One important thing to remember there, guys, if you are really serious about synthesizing, there is another problem right here. Synthesizer takes into consideration not only the amount of fractured explicit that you have, like for example the rarity and the lightning rest, but also all the other modifiers that are existing on the item. So in order to target more precisely what you need to achieve, you need to actually score or possibly annul some of these extra mods, so that it will not add to the giant pool of modifiers that you can potentially get, because they will really add too much and you will get too much potential implicit there affecting your resulting item. That's why if you're really serious, you need to score this down, because these explicit mods on the fractured item, they will go no anywhere, they just stay like this. I'll just show you guys like an example of what will happen. Like let's take the gloves for example. As you can see, there's energy shield, a rarity, and this is like a lot of things. As this thing, I don't care personally. I want to remove anything here except for the evasion energy shield. I should actually do this example. Like if you see, that's this. Okay, let's import 3 of this, and I'll show you an example how this affects. So that's 4, right? That's 4. That's 4. That's 4, and this, that's 5. That's actually 5. Wait a minute, sorry. That's first one. What is it? It's just completely random. That's weird. Okay, anyway. Okay, that's the second one here. Okay, now we have 2, right? And then we have this one. This has 6 right now, 6. So let's import this thing too. This is the third one. So this is potential implicits. There's a lot of them, as you can see. That's a lot of them. That's a lot of them, guys. That's a lot of them. And if we add, if we score this, if we score this thing, we have only 1 left. Only 1 left. So let's import and the third one. You see, it's much less than that. It just really became much less garbage there, and it gave me a much higher chance to get really sweet mods on them. So by scoring and leaving the important things, by scoring, alcheming, annulling, and all that stuff, you are just leaving the important things. Another important thing to remember is that you cannot import you cannot import magic items into synthesizer. They need to be rare. So if you scored everything to the magic, you potentially need to throw regal once again. You will still have some kind of garbage in it, but it will be less garbage than you had, for example, on the 6 mod or like 7, 6 mod, 5 mod item. You get 3 mods, and potentially this will like strengthen your potential outcome on the desired mods that you need. Now let's take a look a little deeper and actually find out how many are synthesized mods available out there. And of course, this website called poedb.tw helps out with that. You go there, click on the synthesis mods, and you will see absolutely everything. Like if I'll remove this, and I'll just show you guys absolutely every synthesis mod. There's just a lot of them. What we see here on the left is explicit mod stats, then we have item class value, and on the right we have the synthesize implicit. What does it mean? By investing certain amount of fractured items with this thing, we can potentially get this thing on the synthesized item. Look pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's quite easy actually. You put shit with this, you get shit with this. Potentially you get shit with this. The only big question is, what is this value? This value is the certain amount of stat that you need to get combined on all your free fractured items in order to get this. Like for example, if you want to get the Abyss Jewel with 0.2 of energy shield regenerated per second, you need to invest 3 Abyss Jewels, which can combine give you about 100% of energy shield regenerated per second. This is practical, like 3 really good duels, high level, good rolls. These 3 duels combined will give you potentially this with a very high chance to outcome. Let's take a look into something harder to get, like for example the onslaught ring. I know that Don tried to get this for quite a while. Let's actually put this onslaught ring. This is a pretty OP for any melee build. You gain onslaught for 4 seconds on hit. This is absolutely insane. What does this mean and how we can get this? In order to get this thing, we need 3 rings, 3 fractured rings with up to 200% dex combined. It doesn't mean that it is really mandatory. I know this is like not really mandatory to have 200, but as much as you can, probably like 150 or something like that. Because as much as possible you need to get dex, otherwise you will just not simply hit this value. It will never get this onslaught on hit. So we need 3 fractured rings with as high dexterity as possible. This should be like dex basically. You need a lot of dex. You put these 3 rings with dexterity and then you press synthesize, and potentially you have a very high chance to get this onslaught for 4 seconds on hit, if you're lucky, of course. So that's quite easy, guys, and for some things it's a bit easier and more straightforward. But for example, if you get like energy shield base of some kind, if you try to get some energy shield, really high energy shield on your energy shield gloves, for example, there's really like much more problems that you need to invest. You need to invest a lot of gloves with very high flat energy shield as the fractured mod on them, and pray in Jesus and that it will actually hit the high energy shield implicit as well. If you want to hit like for example max energy shield as well as increased energy shield, then you need to get both flat energy shield as well as increased energy shield, and of course you will need to have 2 fractured mods on an item so you can get 2 implicits on the desired synthesized item as well. So I really hope that, guys, you now understand how this shit works, and as you can see, it's pretty complex, but at the same time it's not that complex to not understand and avoid the link mechanic entirely. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Your likes and dislikes, especially, as they push me forward even more. If you want to see more content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do daily uploads of role-playing content, being it builds, guides, let's play, stream highlights, and upcoming RPG games. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitch stream to catch me live in action. I do stream daily on working days. I'm a full-time YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer too, so if you want to support me, you can do it either from Twitch or by PayPal directly from my website angryroleplayer.com. Join my Discord channel too for a place to discuss RPG things offline, as well as follow my Twitter to be notified on any new content. If you want to get extra information like sneak peeks into upcoming videos, plans, different behind-the-scenes footage, you can also join the Unholy Army on Patreon as well, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching, listening to all this. See you soon.